Hi friends, thank you for taking the time to watch my video today. So I just did another video this morning about the new seeds that I got. I had gotten a few packages in, so I had opened and shown all of the new seeds that I got. And then I wanted to take a minute to go through all of the other seeds that I'll be planting. I finally got everything basically filed into my little filing box and was able to go through and organize everything. Got all of my seeds. This is everything I'll be planting, I think, always subject to change. But I kind of wanted to show you what I do and how I organize my stuff. So I went through, had the opportunity to go through and go through all of my seeds. I have my big seed box with all of my seeds, and I decided what I was going to plant, and I've had it written down, but I hadn't pulled it out yet. So basically I went through, and what I have is I have little green sticky notes that say when to plant them. So these are all 12 weeks. I plant these all 12 weeks before the last frost date, which for me, my last frost is like May 6th, I think is what we're going off of this year. And so February 11th is when I should plant these. I'm a little bit late on some. We're going to roll with it. And then I have 8 weeks. You can't see that. 8 weeks for the next one. And make sure I got the button in the right place. Yeah. 8 weeks. Are those all 8 weeks? Goodness gracious. So I have 12, 8, 6, 4, and then I have some direct sow. So I'm just going to roll through these real quick. And I wanted to kind of show you what I do, how my garden is laid out. So I used to do just an in-ground garden. I've had 3 different in-ground gardens at 3 different locations when we've moved throughout the year and when I didn't have a place to put one. So I've had 3 throughout the years, and I've been gardening since high school. Sometime in high school I started gardening. And this would be my 3rd year in my raised garden beds, and they are old, basically chemical totes is what they look like. They actually used to have molasses, which I got from a neighbor who uses, I don't know what it's called, but basically they use molasses for farming, and they use it as a fertilizer, basically. So I have those totes, so they didn't have any crazy chemicals in them or anything, and gave them a good rinse, cleaned them out, and I cut them in halves, and they're about 3 foot by 4 foot, and then 2 foot high. They're not pretty, but they work. And this would be my 3rd year gardening in them. So I just wanted to show you kind of my setup of how I plan my garden. Every year I use this, please focus, this almanac. It's the Farmer's Almanac garden planner, and I have a yearly subscription, and it automatically renews, and I use it every year because I will even make notes. Like when I go downstairs in the middle of January to grab some onions and those onions are going bad, I can go into my garden planner and mark a note saying, plant more of these next year, less of these, blah, blah, blah. Kind of give myself ideas. So that's what I do. So you see on here, it's kind of a jumbled mess because we have all of my 12 raised beds, and then I have random plants other places. These are my green stalks. Those represent my green stalks, and then just a couple of other notes and things, other plants that I want to see, when to plant them, when to sow them, and I'm hoping to get them in the garden, like pumpkins, watermelon, cantaloupe are over here. I think I have a strawberry. I'm planning on putting in a strawberry bed, but I don't know where it's going to go yet, so I have that. And so it tells me how many seeds to plant and when is the biggest thing. These big circles, there's 4 here and then 2 here. Those are mineral tubs, cattle mineral tubs. And these little buckets, or these little circles, are 5-gallon buckets. Last year I grew my potatoes in 5-gallon buckets, loved it. Gonna grow them in mineral tubs this year. And I'm hoping to do a few other things with mineral tubs. And I want to do like carrots in 5-gallon buckets and some other things like that, and just see how that works. And maybe still do some potatoes in the 5-gallon buckets. But anywho, so that's kind of my garden layout. Then if I switch to my good notes, here's my actual garden layout. So you can kind of see with words. Not that you can really see that, but these are my beds. These those weird crisscrossy things are my trellises. So you can see I'm going to plant my tomatoes against my trellises this year, and I'm going to do cucumbers on the other side of them. I don't plan on using my trellises for anything else this year. My beans are going to all be bush beans. I will probably never grow pole beans again because they did not work, but it also could have just been the gardening year last year. And if you look, I have 4 beds of garlic put in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 beds of garlic. And I only meant to plant 2 beds of garlic. I accidentally ordered enough garlic to plant 4, so I did it. And so they're out there, and I was like, well, maybe half of it doesn't come up and I still have a good crop. So just ensuring some success there. Okay, so peppers, I'm going to do a full bed of peppers this year, trying to get mostly bell peppers, but I do have some fun ones in there. Oh, this is hard to read backwards. Beans and squash, lettuce and carrots, that is subject to change. I could find something else to put there. Onions, I might do another bed of onions here instead. I think I want to plant more onions. And then my 4 beds of garlic. Each of my, these 2 beds up here, each of these ones over here, have cucumbers on the side. I do square foot gardening. It has worked excellent for me. I have had no issues. And then tomatoes on both sides. And yes, I'm going to pack tomatoes in there, but I am going to try to keep them pruned and get them to really climb those trellises. So peas in the middle of those, I don't have my peas in my thing. I don't know where they are. I gotta track those down, and I know I'm out of carrots. I need to get carrots and I need to find my peas. I don't know where those went. But those are the only 2 seeds I don't have with me today to show you. The peas will be sugar and snap peas. They tend to grow in more of a bushing way instead of trellising climbing. And even if they do need to trellis a little bit, I can stick something in there to help them out a little bit or kind of stake them up. But when I've grown them before, they have been more of a bushing type. So that's why I want to go back to that variety. And then tomatoes here on the outside. And then I've got some weird stuff going on, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do here, but I think I'm going to do a bunch of basil over here. I will have a ton of basil in my green stock as well. Not a ton. I will have some basil in my green stock as well. But so I think if we zoom in, I have basil, marigold, and carrots on the edge. And I don't know what I'm going to do there for sure. So that is the beauty of having a plan, is it can be adjusted. So that's kind of my garden and what the plan is. I will try to stick to it, and it really helps me because I also know what I did last year. That's another perk of that garden planner on the Almanac one, is that it will show you what to avoid planting in certain places, like potatoes and tomatoes. You don't want to plant those. I don't want to plant my tomatoes where my potatoes were last year because they're in the same family. So, okay, on to the seeds. So we're going to start with my 12-week seeds. So I already started, let's see, yeah. Onions. Please, there. So blush onions and candy onions are the 2 I am planning on growing this year. I already have those started and going. They're not up yet, but hopefully they do. And I did sow them in round 3-inch pots, and I put about 50 seeds per pot. And I also did 2 other varieties just in case I have a backup. But if I don't use those, I will give them to someone or take them to a plant sale or something. That kind of idea. So then I am going to plant, because I do plan on going to a plant sale and taking a few things and extras to a plant sale this year. I had a ton last year and they all just died. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take all of my extra to a plant sale so somebody can use them. Something I do want to grow, because I've had these seeds forever and I don't remember how I got them or what, but like they're just not my colors. And I feel bad because they're good seeds. And so I'm going to use them, and I'm going to plant them and take them to the plant sale. So I have 2 kinds of petunias here. And petunias are kind of fidgety getting started from seed, I guess. So we're going to work with those. But then also I do like this color because I do want to grow petunias. Maybe I said that to someone and they grabbed me those. I don't remember. But then I do have these petunias that I want to grow. that I did buy this year. So then last but not least, have some pansies. I'm not big on those colors, but I love pansies, and my mom loved pansies, and so I always plant pansies every year in honor of her. And someday I will get some pansies I do like. So, okay, on to 8 weeks. So in my 8-week group, it's my peppers. So these are mostly leftovers that I need to get rid of. So some California Wonder sweet peppers. This, I don't know if it's gotta be Grand Bell mix. So I'm just gonna plant a bunch of those and see what comes. And then this mocha swirl. I'll try to get pictures of those up if I can figure out how. And then I'm gonna do 2 kinds of Snapdragons from Johnny's, the Potomac Early Sunrise Mix, and then the Potomac Orange, which is in that sunrise mix, but this one is definitely my favorite, and so I want a lot of it. Those are probably gonna go in barrels, like barrel planters out front of my house. Okay, so then we have a bunch of herbs. So a lot of these herbs, nope, that's the 4-week batch, just kidding. So something to keep in mind is, like it says, plant 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. On a lot of my things, like my peppers, my tomatoes, things like that, that are my like main crops that I really want to preserve and not waste, those I'm going to do more towards the 6-week mark instead of the 8-week, because I want to make sure they don't, you know, outgrow their pot, get root bound before I can get them in the ground. And if it's like 8 weeks, they're outgrowing stuff, I need to get them out of the house. And then I look at the forecast when it's close to our last frost, and I look at the forecast and say, okay, there's a frost in a week. It's going to get really cold in a week. I can't plant them out. Then if I go with the 6-week mark, I have some leniency in there, and I can keep them in a little bit longer. Herbs, I'm not super picky about. A lot of my tomatoes and peppers I grow, I can't really get, they're not readily accessible, that variety that I want to grow. But the herbs, I'm not real picky about. I can go downtown and get one of those. I can get them from Walmart if I wanted. So I'm not picky about the herbs. So I'm going to start these ones more towards the, if it says start 6 to 8 weeks, I'm going to put these at the 8 weeks. That way I know if something doesn't go right there, I know, oh, just run to the store and grab one. It's fine. So we've got some sage, just a good broadleaf sage. And I will probably, the other thing is a lot of these are just so outdoors, and all of my herbs, except for some of the basil, will go in my green stock. So what I'll probably do is they have like 6 pockets. So maybe I'll do like, I'll plant one sage plant around May 15th or whatever. I'll plant one sage plant, and then I will seed some in the one next to it. And then I will plant a basil plant in pocket number 3, and in pocket number 4, sprinkle some seeds. So I will, to keep a continual harvest going. Okay, so sweet Italian basil, summer-long basil, please, there, some summer-long basil, and then some rosemary and oregano. And so talking about, like, I switch up my plans, I definitely had like a set idea of what I was wanting to do with my green stalks, and probably since last year. And now I kind of switched it up, and I'm like, I think I want to do like an entire green stalk of herbs and lettuce, and take my strawberries and start a new strawberry bed. Get another tote and make a strawberry bed out of that. So I'm kind of changing it up. So I'm planning on planting a lot of herbs, because we've been using a lot of herbs lately, and I think that's gonna carry on, because we started using fresh herbs last year a lot, and I did dry some, but I think next year I need to dry quite a bit more. So gonna plant a lot. Okay, 6 weeks, which would be March 25th. I'm dying apparently, so one moment. Good for the soul. Nothing else but the soul. Okay, so for my 6-week batch on March 25th. Okay, so we're gonna start with some flowers. And I don't know where I'm gonna plant these yet, but I'm gonna find a place because my daughter really, really likes to grow flowers. And she picked these out last year. So we're gonna do some zinnias. This beautiful rose color. I picked these out last year, which are really close. Kind of show the difference. I like that more corally color, and she really likes the pink ones. And then we're gonna do a cut and come again patch. And I always grow this because my mom, once again, loved it. And it does really, really well in our drought, heat, lack of water. And as I'm sitting here picturing this, I'm like, everything I'm picturing in barrels out front. I'm like, I don't have that many barrels or that much space. So these usually go out back. I usually put petunias and hanging baskets out back on my back porch. Maybe I'll do like moss rose and pansies out there this year and do my hanging baskets out front. So beautiful. My mom always called it rose moss, but it's moss rose. Okay. And then also with my 6-week, wow, looking at that, I'm like, oh, this is coming up. We're moving on to all of the tomatoes, I think. So we have Rapid Fire, the triple crop from In My Gardener. Like I said, these are, you know, start 6 to 8 weeks. Start 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. These are in the 6 weeks because I want to make sure they're safe. So Homestead, is that what I have in my hand? What do I have? Yep, Homestead tomato. Random mix. Don't know if I'm gonna get those planted. I might give those away. Very cherry mix. Those are backups / feed to family. One of my staples that I really like to plant every year is, it's called Sun Sugar, and they're just not readily available. I cannot find seeds for them. I found them on Haas, but it was the only seed I wanted from Haas, and I didn't want to pay shipping for just that one packet of seeds. So I did have some honeycomb, so we are putting the honeycombs in. Honeycombs on the roster instead of my Sun Sugars. Gardener's Delight has been a really good go-to for me. Exactly, like, I don't want any other kind because they work so well. They're big, they're juicy, they do great. I can grow them very easily. Rutgers, good solid slicing tomato. And most of these seeds I picked up at Orscheln's, Tractor Supply, Walmart, wherever I've gone. Okay, so then these are a couple of seeds that I just need to get planted. I have like 3 other packets of these varieties. So these are going to be plant and give away, sell, whatever. Big Boy, I grew some last year. They were great. And the beefsteak, again, grew some last year. And I have another one that apparently didn't make it into the group. It is the Beef Maestro is what it is. And that's with these ones. It'll be planted in my plant sale area. Okay. For the house, we have Super Sauce. Is Super Sauce the only one I have? This might be the only sauce tomato I have. I might have to rethink that and add in another kind of sauce tomato. I know I have Roma's and Amish paste as well. So I might have to throw like maybe one of each in there. Okay, and then the Jetstar. Sakura, which is a good meaty, it's kind of like the Gardener's. I'm hoping it'll be like the Gardener's Delight. I know it is a greenhouse variety, but hey, why not? Black Cherry. This is right along with my Sun Sugars and my Gardener's Delight. Like, excellent, no complaints, always does great for me. And then Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is going to go in my green stock. Ooh. That's what I'm going to put. That's what I'm going to plant. I got a bunch of peppers, and I'm going to put some in there as well, a bunch in there. Oh, that's going to be fun. Because I'm going to do one green stalk as herbs and lettuce, and then one green stalk as like a garden. Tomatoes, peppers. I don't know if I'm going to do like cucumbers in it, but that's what I want to do there. So that's where these will go. I was hoping to get a couple other varieties. Last year I grew Proven Winners. I grew a couple in there, and they were the most productive tomatoes in my entire garden last year. So that is my 6-week batch. Moving on. Can't forget these. To my 4-week. So my 4-week, I know, has some like 2 and 3 week, but they're like herbs, or I'm not afraid for them to get hurt kind of a thing. Oh goodness. All right. So starting with some flowers. Okay, so my strawberry blonde marigolds are my marigold that I use. Absolutely love them. Grow them every year. They're beautiful. My daughter grew a whole garden bed of them last year and was obsessed with them, and I absolutely love them. But I have 3 other kinds of marigolds that I need to plant. They're just sitting there and I need to get them planted. So some of these may get planted out. Some may be given as gifts. That's an idea. Mother's Day. That's right around the time. Give them as gifts to people. May Day. Leave some flowers for May Day. So we've got the Jolly Jester. I'm just giving me the heebie-jeebies to look at. I don't like that. Ugh, it's too lined. I don't like it. Hello. Hold on. I can put my dog away. Okay. My dad pulled in, and he doesn't like when the dog chases the ranger around, apparently. So, where was I? Okay. Marigolds. Well, there's just some good ones. They remind me of Coco, the movie Coco. And then these, I wouldn't mind planting some of these. I like that. I like those deeper orange colors and kind of sunset colors. So there's my marigolds. And then next is squash. So I have 2 kinds of zucchini and 1 yellow squash. Gray zucchini. And then these are just from local garden center. Got a green zucchini and a yellow straight neck. It doesn't say yellow, but I know it's yellow. It's a yellow straight neck. Cucumbers. I'm going to do both. So I have 1 bed of pickling, 1 bed of slicing. And so for my pickling, I have National Pickling cucumber from our local garden center, and then some pickle bush, which aren't really going to trellis. I know that. They're going to grow more bushy, but I'm still going to grow it against the trellis because that's the spot that's designated for them. For slicing, we have straight 8. It's a solid for me, always worked well. And then Market More, which I tried to grow last year for the first time, and I just, none of my cucumbers, none of my garden did well last year. It was a terrible year for gardening, but I didn't get to try those. Last year was supposed to be like straight 8 is my good standard stick to, and then the Market More was my new, oh hey, I really think I'd like this, try this kit. As for herbs, we have some cilantro, thyme, and parsley. And these will probably kind of be the same story where I plant 1 plant and then direct sow some seeds. That way I have, you know, what is it called? Succession gardening. That way I have a succession going. So if this one doesn't do so well, I do have these, or, you know, vice versa. So there are those. Okay. And we have made it to the direct sow batch. So the ones I have, I'm missing my peas and carrots. I gotta find my peas. I know I got peas. I don't know where I put them. I bet they're right there. They're probably right over there. But they're sugary and snap peas is what they are. And then carrots. I need to get carrots. I have carrots. I got carrots. Where did they go? They're with my peas. My carrots are with my peas. We're gonna come back to that. Okay, so as for direct sow, the carrots and peas will also be direct sow. But I have some sweet corn. It is Wild Violet Hybrid, and that is kind of that is my new, I swear I wasn't going to plant sweet corn again in a bucket or in a raised bed or anything. That goes out in my field in a big batch. Okay, but then I decided it's so pretty, I want to grow like 1 bucket of it just to try it and see if I want to grow it again. Because it's purple and it looks like Indian corn kind of. And I'm not sold it's going to be sweet like a sweet corn, but I'm going to grow it anyways. So then, I don't know when or where I got these. I had to have, oh no, there's a hole. I had to have ordered them, but I got some contender bush beans because I went through this thing of thinking that pole beans were going to be the greatest thing ever. And I have like 20 packs, tiny packs of like pole beans that have like 10 or 20 seeds each in it. And I tried and tried and tried with pole beans, and yeah, I'm over them. I'm going back to bush beans. I grew them 2 years ago and they did excellent. And last 2 years, I've not gotten pole beans to do anything. So I'm going back to bush beans. So I got a big package of those. And then direct sow, I also have, I think I might start some of this too. Just so I have a head start and can get some early. But I have some black seeded Simpson. I want to do some lettuce bowls or like lettuce hanging baskets to do at the plant sale. So I'll probably start some of these early. And I have a window box that I want to plant with a bunch of lettuce, so I'll do that too. And then I have the dark red Lalo Rosa, which is a red lettuce. I just wanted to pick another lettuce to add on to that order. I think it was like, if you spend $2 more, you get free shipping. And I was like, yes, give me the $4 packet of lettuce. So that was that. For the last direct sow, we have dill. Just a couple good kinds of dill. And I don't know where I'm going to plant these because I don't want to grow them in my green stock. Maybe I'll do them in a mineral bucket too. That's probably what I'll end up having to do because I don't want to grow them in the green stock because they are going to get big and I want them to get big and healthy. And the problem is they will probably reseed themselves, which is fine. But I'm gonna have to grow those in a mineral tub. Okay, write that down. Yeah, gonna have to do those in a tub or something. So those are my direct sow. Now let me see if I can find the other seeds that I'm missing. So give me 1 second. Okay, now I remember. They got put in a bucket, and I blatantly remember my husband saying, if you lose these, it's not my fault because they're right here and I'm showing you and I'm telling you, so if you lose them, it's not my fault. Because I got a few while we were out of the stock show. So let me show you those real quick. Kind of another little mini, oh yeah, nope, these are important. Kind of a little mini seed haul. So these are from Life Seed Company. We get them out of the stock show. I don't know where they're from, but we get them out of the stock show. So Piper, my daughter, picked these rainbow carrots. She loved growing carrots last year and ate them all straight out of my garden bed. And then I got 2 packages of the sugar and snap peas. And I really like their bags. They're resealable. This is so, when I have these that are like, I got them cut off and I got seeds falling all over and everything. It's just, that's a pain. But these are resealable. They have really good information on the back. And it's a small business. So, absolutely love them. Oh, Armenian cucumbers. Gotta find somewhere to grow those. And then I'm sure in some of my like 5-gallon buckets, I'll plant some beets. Beets and radishes. Just because they're fun and easy to grow and good for the kids to play with. Habaneros. That is one of my peppers that I'll be growing this year. I really want to do some raspberry habanero sauce because I could go through like a quart of that a day, I swear. So then I have I was like, these are bush, right? So I have a tricolor bush bean mix. I saw these and I was like, just to make sure I have enough bush beans. So these will go somewhere. Probably in my green stock. That's a good idea. So that's where those will go. So I'm going to go through and file all of these. But I wanted to go ahead and show you all of the goodies I'll be growing and where I plan on putting them as of right now. So if you have any questions about any of these or any ideas for me to do, suggestions on where to plant, what not to plant, what I should try, I'm open to anything. Just let me know. And like always, thank you guys for watching and keep growing on.